Thanks for joining us for another edition of The Small Business Show with Jim Fitzpatrick, exclusively on ASBN.com.
Hey everyone, Jim Fitzpatrick. You're watching another edition of The Small Business Show, exclusively right here at ASBN.com, and now streaming on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV. Did you know that 80% of people with disabilities in the United States do not have a job? Joining us now is the executive director at the Prospector Theater, Mr. Ryan Wenke, who is their lead guy there. So their company's mission is to provide competitive and inclusive employment for people with disabilities, which is an incredible cause. And so thanks very much for joining us today, Ryan. We want to learn so much about your company and what makes it tick.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. You're absolutely right. You know, that figure is staggering, that 80%.
Yeah.
And we're showing the world that those of us with disabilities want to work and can work, but there's just not enough opportunity, or the opportunities that are available are pushing shopping carts, bagging groceries, things that we just don't find meaningful.
That's right. That's right. So for those viewers out there that are not as familiar with your incredible popcorn and your brand, tell us a little bit about your company and how it got started and what you're up to.
Absolutely. So we just celebrated our 9-year birthday this past November.
Congratulations.
We opened in 2014. Thank you. We have a first-run movie theater in Ridgefield, Connecticut that opened in 2014. We show all the latest and greatest movies. We have roughly 125 employees. 75% of us self-identify with a disability.
Wow.
So
75%.
Yes.
Wow.
And 10 times more than a movie theater and business our size. But that is our mission, to create jobs. And we do that, you know, as you can imagine, in a movie theater, there's so many jobs that go into operating this business.
Sure.
Box office, usher, concessions. We have a production team where we make our own videos and display them on the big screen before each movie.
Wow.
We have a landscaping team. We have a cafe where we serve beer, wine, mixed drinks. And then we have a commercial kitchen where we make our gourmet popcorn. And we've been making this popcorn for the last 9 years and selling it at the concession stand here. And it's absolutely delicious. And we've always wanted to be able to share our mission to those that can't come to Ridgefield to see a movie. And popcorn really was that vehicle. So a couple of years ago, we launched our online e-commerce business, Prospector Popcorn. And that bag of popcorn that you have there is just a perfect representation of the amount of jobs that go into the amount of jobs that we have here. So it's somebody's job to pop the popcorn. It's somebody's job to drizzle the chocolate. It's somebody's job to package it. All of those graphics on that bag was done in-house by us. The narrative about our mission was created by our development team in-house. And so our key thing is meaningful jobs.
And where did the name come from, Prospector Popcorn?
So we're Prospector Theater, Prospector Popcorn.
Okay.
I'm sure the word, you know, the term prospector is somebody who would mine, you know, for various, you know, gold or gems. And we have a term here, mining for sparkle. So sparkle is something that you love to do, something you're passionate about. And that's what we really look towards when we hire, and we try to match somebody's passion with a profession. So we're all prospects here. That's the name of each and every employee. And so Prospector Popcorn, Prospector Theater, that's our brand.
So when the founders got together to open up this incredible business, did they say, let's open up a movie theater and be in the movie business, or was it always with it in mind to hire those that have got disabilities and then give them something to do, obviously the movie theater and the popcorn?
Absolutely. It was always in mind. So our founder and visionary, Valerie Jensen, she has a sister, Hope, who has Down syndrome. So she grew up firsthand seeing the difficulties and challenges that having a disability has. Prior to starting the theater, she worked at another nonprofit in town where she would direct films and direct plays. And she realized that everybody was always free to rehearse. Nobody had any job. Nobody had any other obligation.
Yeah.
And so she said, okay, well, we don't need to keep putting on more plays or
Sure.
we need jobs. And she knew that her friends with disabilities loved movies. It's a common ground. The town of Ridgefield didn't have a movie theater. The closest was 10 miles away.
Wow.
And there was space that was available to build a building like this. So it just all kind of clicked in her mind.
Yeah.
And propelled this to move forward.
Wow, that's fantastic. When you get into the movie business, you are up against some very steep competition out there, right? I mean,
yes.
It seems like most of the movie theaters are owned by all the big players out there, and they've got hundreds of them throughout the country. But
Absolutely.
you're really taking on a lot when you open up a first-run movie theater today, right?
We absolutely, and we're all about the experience when you come here is really what sets us apart. We're the cleanest theater, and with our mission, you're seeing people who thoroughly enjoy their jobs because going back to the term sparkle mining, we find relevant job opportunities based on somebody's sparkle. You might be surprised to know, for example, we have a band. At our movie theater, an in-house band, because some of us love music. And you might think, well, how does that work in the context of popcorn or the mission? Well, we have events that book the band for their parties, and so we're finding programmatic sense for all of these passions. But you're absolutely right. With streaming in particular is another big threat to the industry, and the pandemic didn't help that at all. So we need to give reasons for people to come here. And it's the experience, it's feeling welcomed, it's seeing us sparkle at our jobs.
Yeah. In fact, you mentioned the pandemic. Let's go there for a second. That really shut down the theater industry nationwide for obvious reasons. What kind of an impact did that have, and how long did you have to shut down for?
So like everybody, that March, I think, mid-March or so, we shut down. Thankfully, we were in a position to keep everybody on payroll. We moved everybody to a remote kind of model where we would work on usher speeches. We give usher speeches before each and every movie, so we would practice that. We would do some development work, grant writing work, video production work. We were able to reopen in June, but it was definitely challenging. There was no new movies. We were just playing. I think we played 100 throwback films throughout the months of those summer months.
Sure.
And the industry really hasn't fully recovered back to what it used to be. I mean, there's some nice bright spots, like the Barbie movie this year was a phenomenon. Top Gun Maverick last year was great for us. But the landscape has changed, and the pandemic kind of propelled us to really go all in on this popcorn business, because we needed to find alternate revenue streams. And again, studios take a big cut of our movie tickets, and so we needed to expand well beyond just the revenue that comes in from movie grosses.
Sure. If you don't mind sharing with me, as we sit here today, what percentage of the gross sales are made up of the popcorn versus movie tickets?
So, I mean, definitely the movie industry is much larger for us. I would say that for the popcorn program, we launched it in 2021, October 2021. So we're just over 2 years.
Okay.
We're up about 160% from last year, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
But our bread and butter right now still, it's not even the movie grosses, because studios take about 60% of every ticket sale.
Really?
That's why when you go to the movies, your popcorn is $10. But
your popcorn should be $20 because it's really good.
I appreciate that. Yeah. So I mean, it's a growing business. We're hoping for it to be equal in terms of revenue that comes in through our concessions, revenue. But it's a sizable amount that we're all in on this kind of. We used to view expansion as brick and mortar, and we actually were going to sign a lease for a second movie theater at February of 2020, and we had to escape that right after the pandemic was in full swing. But now, to us, expansion isn't a brick and mortar movie theater. we're showing the world that it doesn't have to be a movie theater. It doesn't have to be popcorn. It could be a wide variety of business models. What really is important is the education, inclusion, accommodations, those kinds of best practices that we have here.
Yeah, it's an incredible product for sure. This popcorn is so good. This particular one is iced gingerbread cookie. Is this something that you make just for the holidays?
Yeah, so we have some, holiday flavors that we bring out, and some, flavors throughout the different parts of the year. So like when we get to Valentine's, we'll have our chocolate strawberry, and then we have our typical staple flavors: Belgian chocolate, strawberry ice cream, sweet and spicy. So to everybody watching, these are gourmet popcorn flavors. It's not movie theater popcorn in a bag.
But it is available in the movie theater, right? I mean, if we went in.
Absolutely. Yep. If you went in.
That would be reason enough for me to go to your movie theater versus driving 10 miles away to the.
I love to hear it.
Right?
I love to hear it. Yeah, I would agree. And so, our plans is to, we just invested in new bags. Those are the ones that actually increase the shelf life of the product without jeopardizing the flavor and ingredients by 6 months. And that allows us to look into international shipping and other things of that nature. So we're really trying to expand the business of popcorn.
I mean, there's going to come a day, if there hasn't been already, where Target or Walmart or Whole Foods gives you a call and says, "Hey, this has been sent to us and it's very good. Can you live up to a big order like that?"
We certainly can. We always say, our goal is to break the system. So if we have opportunities where our system is broken and we're here at doing baker's hours making popcorn, then we love that, and we'll adapt, and we want that to happen.
That's great. Is this a for-profit corporation or is it a nonprofit?
It's a nonprofit. So the Prospector is a 501c3 nonprofit.
Okay.
And Prospector Popcorn is part of that umbrella of nonprofits. So
That's fantastic. You are doing good for so many people, not just there in your employment among these people that really want to work and be out there with everyone and helping everybody, but at the same time delivering up great taste for people really all over the country, if not the world, right?
Absolutely. And again, showing the world that, in our opinion, the best way of quality of life, or one of the best ways, is financial independence, and being able to earn your own paycheck, knowing that when you wake up that you're needed somewhere, and being able to see coworkers move out of their parents' home, get their first apartment, get their first car. These things happen at the Prospector each and every year. And lastly, I would say that, we do great work, but we also don't want to be the only business doing this. And so a big part of our work is educating other employers on that what we're doing isn't nice. It's good business. And so we need more people understanding that, and more job opportunities, not just in Ridgefield, but in all parts of the world.
Ryan Wenke, who is the executive director of the Prospector Theater, an unbelievable popcorn company there. So thank you so much for joining us on the show. Your story is very, very inspiring, and keep up the great work that you're doing for so many. Really appreciate you taking the time.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for having me on here.
Great, thanks.
Thanks for joining us for another edition of The Small Business Show with Jim Fitzpatrick, exclusively on ASBN.com.